All right, so I'm making this quick video today before I go to the House of David season 2 premiere, but I wanted to talk about this because I've gotten more emails and DMs and messages from you guys than a lot of other times during this whole Chosen thing. So ChosenCon 2026 was just announced last Sunday, and while the tickets are expensive, I talked about that quite a lot during our last stream here. Of course, you can see the lowest ticket here is $500. I understand why they're doing this. I understand why it costs so much. However, I was expecting, I even talked about this, I think after my video segment in my live stream, we talked about this on stream for quite a while. I was like, certainly they're going to have a virtual ticket option, because if they don't have a virtual ticket option, like that would just be weird, right? And the last time they had a virtual ticket option, every conference that I know of pretty much has a virtual ticket option, especially nowadays. But it looks like if you don't have $500, and more likely if you don't have over $1,000 to travel to this conference and be there in person, there is no way for you to experience this stuff live. So what does that mean? It means that they're going to be selling you replays after the fact. They're going to be recording everything. They're just not going to be streaming it live. This to me is crazy. And how do I know this, by the way? We can see the tickets here. Let's update on the tickets real fast, then we'll get to that. So we get the tickets here, $500, $1,000, $1,500. We can already see that the tickets for $1,500 are actually sold out at this time. That's because there probably wasn't very many. My guess is there was a few hundred or so of these tickets, and they pretty quickly sold out, right? The rest of the tickets, there's probably a lot more than there was previously, as this is supposed to be the biggest ChosenCon ever, right? That's kind of the idea there. So you can still get these other tickets if you want, adding on the lunches and everything else if you want to do that as you go. Now, we got this email from the Chosen yesterday after the live stream and everything, kind of updating us and recapping what they talked about in the live stream. And at the very bottom of it, there's this PS that says this: one last note, maybe you visited the ChosenCon website, but you noticed there's no virtual ticket option this year. While we announce the opportunity to purchase ChosenCon replay access at a later date, we will not be offering a live virtual experience for ChosenCon in 2026. We hope you can join us in person instead. It's our favorite way to be together. Here's what I'll say about this. I know a lot of people, more people than normal, are mad about this because you're either stuck at home because of some health issue or because financially you can't afford to go to an event like this. You were hoping that there would be, I don't know, $100, maybe $150 option that you could go and virtually watch this event. This, I think, is very reasonable. And I think it's something that a lot of people were expecting, especially after setting the precedent of having a virtual ticket in the last event as well, right? And it being 2026, like this is a very normal thing for events to do, for massive conferences to do, to have a virtual ticket option. I understand that the Chosen wants to have this in-person event, but at the same time, like, why not have a virtual option for this in order to have the community come together? This is one of the things that we've talked about from, probably 2 years now. The way that the Chosen universe is changing in terms of its fan base, it's pretty crazy in my opinion. Like I understand you wanting to do this large conference. I understand you wanting to have as many people in person as possible. I even understand not putting the virtual tickets up for sale right now, but maybe putting them up closer to the event so that you can sell as many in-person tickets as you possibly can. I understand all of that, right? But to not have a virtual ticket option at all in 2026, I think is pretty crazy. Every single church live streams every single Sunday. Every single event that I've ever been to has had a virtual ticket option at some level. So it's pretty crazy. Like, this is an intentional choice. This is not a cost-saving measure, because you could do streaming. You're already filming everything if you're going to sell the replays, right? You could easily implement streaming into that. You could. I don't know. There's a lot that I have to say about this. I think it's a very interesting, intentional choice. And I don't know where this choice comes from, who is the person that's making this choice in particular. I think it is a choice that will hurt the fandom overall, to be 100% honest with you. Yeah, I mean, from the messages that I'm getting, people are really hurt that this is the case. I do not understand. Like, I understand the $500. I understand the high ticket prices to be in person in a big venue where you've made all these deals with the hotels and stuff. I totally understand that from a financial perspective, right? Do I love it as a former poor kid? No, I don't love it, right? But I understand it from a financial standpoint and a business standpoint. I totally get it. This, I do not get at all, because all it does is separates everybody that is unable to go to this event. Instead of bringing together this big Christian community, now you're separating it completely. And so it's kind of the culmination of the theatrical releases plus the Amazon Prime release plus the app release, right? Where it's already separated the entire group of fans as a whole. And instead of closing out The Chosen in season 6 and season 7 as like this big family together that we can celebrate, it feels like, and again, this might just be me, or it might just be all the messages that I'm getting, because I'm getting a lot of messages talking about this. What it feels like is like everybody that has given so much throughout all this time, if you can't go to this event, you're just kind of left out. You're just kind of left behind, right? Which is, I don't know, it just feels really bad when this feels like a very simple solve. You could, if you like, there's so many options. I won't go through all of them here, but there are so many options. And I know that you have people. I mean, you have Daryl Eves, for goodness sake, right? Who runs Vid Summit, who does live, live options for his conference. There are a lot of different things that you could do, right? And this is an intentional choice. I get that it's an intentional choice. Maybe you're wanting to make this event feel as premium and exclusive as possible. And maybe that's the point. And maybe that's totally fine. Maybe I'm just thinking about this the wrong way. Listen, I love The Chosen. I love The Chosen team. Everybody that I've met that's part of The Chosen team is amazing. I'm friends with a lot of them. I have no problems with anybody that's planning this event or that's doing all this stuff. I just feel like this is a pretty big oversight in 2026. And it's not an oversight. It's an intentional choice to not do a live streaming option. I just don't fully understand why that would be. Like, the replays are great, sure, but you're already like, you're going to miss out on so much. You're not going to feel like you're a part of the fandom. You're just going to be paying for another thing to watch after the fact. And that doesn't feel great to me personally. Like I said, I'm receiving a ton of messages right now, a bunch of emails of people copying me on emails that they're sending to The Chosen, asking them to change this. Maybe it is time for the fandom to stand up and really, press them on this, because I think a live option should be available. I think it should be available. And of course, I have no power or authority to say whether that's the case or not. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you understand why they're not doing a live event? Because I don't really. I don't really. So I think it should be part of what they're doing, so that they can impact and allow as many people as possible to see what's going on. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe last year's virtual event just failed so horribly. I don't know what happened with that at all. I didn't even check it out at all because I was there. But yeah, I don't know. You guys let me know. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.